When it comes to food, some items seem to spoil faster than your weekend plans, while others are practically immortal, lasting years or even decades without losing their touch. Whether you're prepping for emergencies, rising prices, or just avoiding those dreaded last-minute grocery runs, having the right long-lasting foods is a must. These pantry heroes are built to stand the test of time. We've ranked the top 20, from useful staples to absolute legend. Number 20 is a smart pick, but wait until you see number 1. It's a total game changer. Let's dive into the ultimate stockpile essentials. 20. The timeless hero of rice. White rice is the undisputed champion of long-lasting staples. Affordable, adaptable, and capable of lasting decades when properly stored. No pantry is truly complete without it. Why does white rice endure the test of time? It all comes down to its composition. The outer bran layer of white rice is removed during processing, eliminating the oils that typically cause spoilage in whole grains. What remains is a carbohydrate powerhouse, free from the vulnerabilities that other grains might face. Store your white rice in airtight containers, using oxygen absorbers or mylar bags to keep out moisture and pests. Under these conditions, white rice can endure 30 years or more without losing its quality. Want evidence of its longevity? Ancient archaeological discoveries have unearthed rice preserved for thousands of years in decent condition. That's no fluke. It's proof of rice's unmatched durability. Additionally, rice is one of the most versatile foods out there. It can be reimagined in countless dishes, from savory stir-fries to emergency-use porridge. During wars, economic collapse, or supply chain disruptions, rice has consistently been humanity's reliable fallback. White rice isn't just a survival necessity, it's a timeless staple. Pro tip: make sure to focus on the simple white variety, as brown rice's higher oil content significantly shortens its shelf life. 19. Vegetables in vacuum-sealed time capsules. Canned vegetables may not win any gourmet awards, but when you're in a pinch, these pantry heroes rise to the occasion. From green beans to corn, canned produce becomes a lifeline when fresh foods are unavailable. Packed and sealed to withstand the elements, canned vegetables owe their remarkable shelf life, 5 to 10 years or more, to the sterilization process used during production. Heat and vacuum sealing work together to keep bacteria and air at bay. Canned vegetables aren't just about vitamins, they contain water, making them a dual-purpose emergency item. If clean drinking water becomes scarce, every drop counts, even from a can of carrots. Storing them doesn't demand special conditions either. A cool, dark place, away from high heat or damp environments, is enough to ensure they're ready when needed. On the nutrient front, while canned produce may slightly lag behind fresh vegetables, they still hold impressive amounts of fiber, vitamins, and minerals. Plus, in a worst-case scenario, any food that requires no complicated prep becomes invaluable. Spinach might usually taste better fresh, but in a famine, even canned greens feel like luxury. Pro tip: rotate canned goods in your stockpile every few years to ensure maximum freshness, and opt for salt-free or low-sodium options if you're focusing on health. 18. The liquid gold of honey. If there were a food that defied all expectations, it would be honey. Archaeologists discovered pots of honey in ancient Egyptian tombs, still intact and edible after 3,000 years. Yes, you read that right. This golden syrup isn't just sweet, it practically bends the laws of time. Honey's potency lies in its composition. Naturally low in moisture and high in acidity, honey creates an environment that bacteria simply cannot thrive in. Stored in a sealed glass jar, this liquid treasure can last indefinitely, making it one of the most enduring natural foods on Earth. But honey's value doesn't stop at its longevity or sweetness. Its antibacterial properties make it a natural medicine. Use it to soothe a sore throat, dab it on small wounds for faster healing, or include it in your food stash for an instant energy boost. And if your honey crystallizes, no worries. Just heat it gently to return it to its liquid state. When disaster strikes, a dollop of honey can make otherwise bland meals much more palatable. You could live off rice and beans, but a spoonful of honey adds comfort and variety, saving your sanity in stressful times. Pro tip: keep honey in tightly sealed jars to avoid moisture contamination, and store it in a cool, dark space. 17. Instant comfort in ramen noodles. When you think of ramen noodles, college dorm rooms and tight budgets might come to mind. But ramen is more than a cheap convenience food. It's a survival superstar. These densely packed blocks of noodles, combined with their lightweight seasoning packets, make them an unbeatable option for emergency stockpiles. Why does ramen last so long? Often a decade or more under the right conditions. The secret lies in its minimal moisture content and airtight packaging. These two factors work hand in hand to stave off spoilage. But not all ramen is created equal. The foam cups housing some versions of ramen noodles degrade faster over time, so choose brick-style packages for maximum longevity. Ramen's strength lies in its simplicity. All it takes is boiling water, and you've got a fast, calorie-rich meal. While it's far from the healthiest option, in survival situations, calories are your best friend. Ramen delivers this in spades, providing quick and easy sustenance when energy matters most. Pro tip: longevity aside, ramen's airtight packs make it pest-resistant, an often overlooked but crucial benefit for survival foods. 16. Multitasking marvel: white vinegar. White vinegar is the culinary equivalent of a Swiss Army knife. It's more than just a cooking ingredient. It's a cleaner, preservative, and even a natural remedy. The icing on the cake? White vinegar literally never expires. Whether you bought it this year or decades ago, its acidic qualities ensure that vinegar remains as potent as the day it was bottled. White vinegar accomplishes incredible feats in a survival scenario. Need to pickle vegetables to extend their freshness? Vinegar is your solution. Cleaning surfaces to prevent bacterial contamination? Vinegar has you covered. It can even be used to soothe bug bites or tenderize tough cuts of wild-caught meat. Its high acidity doesn't merely prevent spoilage, it makes it an invaluable tool when every resource counts. Stock white vinegar in gallon jugs and keep it in a cool, dark space. Given its versatility, it takes up surprisingly little storage space for how useful it can become in emergencies. Pro tip: for efficiency, store distilled white vinegar. It has the longest shelf life and the broadest range of uses. 15. The underrated power of lentils. Lentils may not have the star appeal of trendy superfoods, but don't overlook them. They're an absolute stockpiling essential. These small legumes score high marks for both nutrition and longevity. When stored in a cool, dry place inside an airtight container, lentils have an astonishing shelf life of up to 30 years. That's 3 decades of staying ready to nourish you, all without refrigeration. What makes lentils so indispensable? For starters, they're nutrient-dense. Packed with plant-based protein, fiber, iron, and slow-digesting carbohydrates, lentils offer everything you need to maintain energy and well-being during tough times. They also cook faster than most other legumes, making them a more efficient food source when fuel and cooking resources are limited. Lentils might seem bland at first glance, but don't be fooled. They're flavor sponges. With the right seasoning or broth, you can turn lentils into countless delicious meals, from hearty soups and stews to mock meat patties or savory snacks. Their versatility in the kitchen means they work in plenty of survival meal plans. Pro tip: store lentils in airtight Mylar bags with oxygen absorbers to extend their shelf life further and protect them from moisture or pests. 14. Pantry MVP. Powdered milk. Powdered milk might not shine in the glamour department, but if you're serious about stockpiling essentials, this ingredient deserves a place of honor. Why? Unlike traditional milk, powdered milk boasts an extended shelf life of 20 years or more when stored in optimal conditions. Dry, cool, and sealed, powdered milk retains many of the same nutrients as fresh milk. It's high in calcium, protein, and essential vitamins, making it a versatile food with critical benefits during an emergency. Just mix it with water to create milk for your coffee, oatmeal, or baking needs. Of course, the flavor isn't exactly the same as fresh milk, but in survival situations, nutrient content trumps taste every time. Beyond being a direct milk replacement, powdered milk is invaluable for cooking. Pancakes, biscuits, sauces, and casseroles. Almost any recipe calling for milk can accommodate its powdered counterpart. It's lightweight, spaceful, and incredibly practical for long-term food planning. Pro tip: once opened, transfer powdered milk to an airtight container or vacuum-sealed pouch to maintain its freshness and extend usability. 13. Salt. The eternal essential. Salt is more than just a table condiment. This mineral has served humanity as a preservation and survival tool for centuries, and for good reason. The best part? Salt never expires. Whether it's table salt, sea salt, or even coarse Himalayan salt, all you have to do is keep it dry and you'll have this crucial survival item forever. Salt's uses go far beyond enhancing flavor. It's a powerhouse for food preservation. From curing meats and preserving fish to creating brines and fermenting vegetables, salt ensures your other food sources last longer. This makes it twice as important in any emergency plan. Salt is also your body's partner in survival. Without a proper electrolyte balance, hydration and muscle functions suffer. Preparing to subsist on items like rice and beans, add salt for both taste and essential nutrients. You'll thank yourself later. Pro tip: for non-iodized salt for long-term storage, as iodized varieties include additives that can reduce shelf life. Store salt in a moisture-free container for ideal preservation. 12. Instant coffee. Caffeine to the rescue. While instant coffee might seem like a luxury rather than a necessity, its inclusion in emergency stockpiles offers surprising advantages. When stored properly, freeze-dried instant coffee remains usable for over 20 years without losing flavor or effectiveness. For many, caffeine can be a significant morale booster in stressful situations, making even the toughest days a little more manageable. Prepared in seconds, instant coffee doesn't require fancy equipment, grinders, or refrigeration. Add boiling water for an instant dose of warmth and comfort. Beyond boosting alertness, coffee can suppress appetite slightly, a trick that helps stretch food supplies when resources are tight. With its lightweight packaging and compact size, instant coffee works perfectly for bug-out bags and pantry shelves alike. Its simplicity combined with its ability to deliver a bit of psychological relief can't be overstated. After all, surviving isn't just about food. It's about staying mentally strong, and that's where coffee shines. Pro tip: to ensure longevity, keep instant coffee in its original vacuum-sealed packaging, or transfer it to an airtight glass jar for extra protection against moisture and air. 11. Canned meats for protein on demand. If you haven't started stockpiling canned meat, now's the time. Whether you're looking at tuna, Spam, chicken, or sardines, these items belong in your emergency food arsenal. Why? Canned meats are calorie-dense and protein-packed, making them some of the most practical and filling foods to have on hand. Through the canning process, meats are vacuum-sealed and sterilized, warding off bacteria and preventing spoilage, even without refrigeration. Depending on the variety and storage conditions, canned meats can last anywhere from 5 to 10 years, making them perfect for long-term preparedness. Canned meats are meals in themselves, but they're also versatile enough to enhance other dishes. Combine tuna with pasta or salad greens for a satisfying meal. Or add canned chicken to soups, stews, or sandwiches. Their portability makes them a reliable choice for your pantry, hike, or bug-out bag. Beyond their practical uses, canned meats meet critical nutritional needs during tough times. Protein, vitamins, and essential fatty acids can be some of the hardest nutrients to come by in survival scenarios. These convenient cans make it that much easier to stay energized and nourished. Pro tip: rotate your stockpile to ensure freshness. Use and replace older cans first, and check labels for shelf life to keep your pantry primed. 10. Rolled gold, the survival superpower of oats. Oats might look plain and unassuming sitting on your pantry shelf, but don't be fooled. These humble grains pack a serious punch when it comes to survival nutrition, storage life, and versatility. In fact, if you're looking for a long-term food option that checks all the boxes, cheap, filling, nutritious, and nearly endless shelf life, then oats are one of your best bets. Properly stored in airtight containers with oxygen absorbers and kept in a cool, dry environment, oats can last 30 years or more without spoiling. That's an entire generation's worth of breakfasts sitting in a single bucket. Unlike many perishable items, oats don't require refrigeration, freezing, or complex preservation techniques. Nutritionally, they're a workhorse. Oats are loaded with soluble fiber, especially beta-glucan, which is great for heart health and digestion. They're also rich in iron, magnesium, protein, and complex carbs, all of which give you lasting energy in times of physical or emotional strain. That's crucial during emergencies when your energy reserves matter most. And when it comes to meal prep, oats are as adaptable as they come. They can be used for a hot, hearty breakfast, blended into smoothies, or even used as a filler in meatloaf or casseroles. You can spice them up with cinnamon, stir in powdered milk or ghee, or sweeten with sugar or dried fruits from your stash. If you're building a stockpile that's made to last and built to nourish, oats deserve a front row seat. They're not just survival food, they're the food that helps you thrive. 9. Sweet survival: why sugar is worth its weight in gold. Sugar is often dismissed as a luxury item, something for cakes, cookies, and holiday treats. But in a survival scenario, this simple carbohydrate transforms into a powerful multi-purpose food asset that belongs in every long-term prepper stash. First, sugar never really expires. When kept dry and away from moisture in an airtight container, sugar is essentially immortal. That's right, it can last indefinitely without refrigeration or special storage methods. Ants and pests are your only concern, which is easily fixed with sealed buckets or Mylar bags. But sugar's value goes far beyond just sweetening coffee or oatmeal. It's a natural preservative, used for centuries to make jams, jellies, syrups, and even to cure meats. It works by drawing moisture out of food and bacteria, creating an environment where spoilage organisms can't thrive. That means if you're canning fruit or making preserves in a grid-down situation, sugar is your best friend. On top of that, sugar provides a quick, easily digestible source of energy. In a crisis, calories are currency. Whether you're walking long distances, chopping wood, or simply dealing with stress, your body will burn through energy fast. And sugar gives you that immediate boost. Psychologically, a little sweetness can go a long way. A sugary treat can provide comfort and morale in bleak times, helping lift spirits when food fatigue sets in. You can use sugar to bake survival bread, stir into tea, or whip up energy-dense snacks with peanut butter and oats. In short, sugar isn't just about flavor, it's about function. Stock up and store smart, and sugar will serve you well long after the lights go out. 8. Liquid gold and clarified comfort. Cooking oils and ghee. When we talk about survival food, most people immediately think of grains, beans, and canned goods. But here's something often overlooked: cooking fat. Without it, even the most nutrient-rich stockpile is incomplete. That's where oils, and especially ghee, come in. Let's start with oils. Whether you use vegetable oil, olive oil, coconut oil, or canola, these fats are not just for flavor. They're essential for your body to absorb vitamins, maintain brain health, and keep your energy levels high. In fact, each gram of fat provides more than twice the calories of carbs or protein, making them vital during times of high exertion and limited food access. Stored correctly, most oils can last 2 to 3 years, especially if they're kept away from light and heat. Coconut oil in particular has a longer shelf life due to its saturated fat content and natural antimicrobial properties. Then there's ghee, which is truly a prepper's gem. Made by simmering butter to remove water and milk solids, ghee is a clarified butter with a rich, nutty flavor, and it can last 5 to 10 years or more without refrigeration when stored properly. Ghee also has a high smoke point, making it perfect for sautéing, frying, or even baking over a fire. Unlike regular butter, it won't spoil or turn rancid quickly. Plus, it's rich in fat-soluble vitamins like A, D, E, and K, nutrients that are crucial when your diet becomes more limited. From flavor to function, oil and ghee turn bland survival meals into hearty, satisfying dishes, while providing critical nutrients your body desperately needs. Whether you're cooking rice, baking flatbreads, or preserving food, having the right fats on hand can mean the difference between barely surviving and actually enjoying your meals. 7. Shelf-stable sweetness. Freeze-dried and canned fruits. Let's face it, during a long-term emergency, fresh fruit becomes a thing of the past. That's why freeze-dried and canned fruits are indispensable. They bring a pop of flavor, a dose of nutrition, and some much-needed variety to your survival diet, all while being shelf-stable for years or even decades. Freeze-dried fruits like strawberries, bananas, apples, and blueberries are dried using a process that removes 98% of their moisture while locking in most of their vitamins, minerals, and flavor. This means they can last 25 to 30 years when stored properly in sealed containers with oxygen absorbers. They're ultra-lightweight, making them ideal for bug-out bags and emergency kits. And because they're not sticky or wet, they're perfect for quick snacks, mixing into oatmeal or tossing into homemade trail mixes. You can even rehydrate them with a splash of water and use them in baking or cooking. Canned fruits, while heavier and shorter-lived, still offer a solid 3 to 5 years of shelf life, longer if kept in cool, stable conditions. Whether it's peaches, pineapples, or fruit cocktail, these cans bring natural sweetness and hydration when water and nutrition are scarce. Plus, canned fruits usually come packed in their own juice or syrup, which can be repurposed for sauces or mixed into other dishes to enhance flavor and calorie content. When morale is low, opening a can of juicy pears might be the highlight of your day. The bottom line? When you can't access fresh fruit, these preserved options help maintain immune function, provide a quick source of natural sugars, and make every meal feel a little more like home. 6. Tiny cubes, big flavor. The power of bouillon. If you've ever tried living off nothing but rice, beans, and dry grains, you'll know one thing for sure: it gets old fast. That's where bouillon cubes, or granules, come into play. These tiny, unassuming flavor bombs can completely transform bland meals into something comforting, rich, and deeply satisfying. Bouillon is essentially dehydrated broth, usually beef, chicken, or vegetable, compressed into cube or powder form. Stored in a cool, dry place, these little cubes can last 5 to 10 years, and often longer if vacuum sealed. They take up almost no space and weigh next to nothing, making them perfect for both large home stockpiles and portable bug-out bags. More importantly, they serve as a flavor multiplier. One cube added to a pot of boiling water gives you instant soup base. Stir it into rice, lentils, pasta, or beans, and suddenly your emergency food has real taste and warmth. Add some freeze-dried vegetables and maybe a spoonful of ghee, and you've got a broth that feels like a meal. They're also great for making quick gravies, sauces, or even turning a basic stew into something far more robust and flavorful. In survival mode, it's easy to fall into taste fatigue, eating the same bland meals over and over. Bouillon helps break that cycle. In short, bouillon is like a chef's secret weapon tucked into your prepper pantry. It's small, affordable, incredibly shelf-stable, and completely capable of turning survival food into something you'd actually want to eat. 5. Full meal lifesavers. Self-contained emergency rations. When disaster strikes and you're low on time, energy, or resources, nothing beats having an all-in-one meal solution that's ready to go. No prep, no cooking, no guesswork. That's exactly what you get with self-contained emergency meal packs, more commonly known as MREs. Meals ready to eat. Originally designed to meet the intense nutritional and logistical needs of military personnel, MREs have evolved into one of the most practical and reliable survival foods for civilians. Each pack includes a main entree, sides, condiments, snacks, dessert, and even a heating element in many versions. Some even throw in napkins, utensils, and coffee. What makes them shine for long-term storage is their remarkable shelf life, typically 5 to 10 years, and in ideal conditions, even longer. And unlike canned goods or freeze-dried foods that require boiling water or heat, many MREs come with flameless heaters, meaning you can enjoy a warm, satisfying meal even in the cold or without electricity. These meals are nutritionally balanced, offering a good mix of carbs, fats, proteins, and electrolytes designed to sustain you through physically demanding conditions. And because they're vacuum-sealed and moisture-free, they're incredibly portable. Perfect for bug-out bags, vehicle kits, or stashing in your go-to emergency cache. In short, MREs aren't just food, they're peace of mind in a pouch. If your goal is convenience, complete nutrition, and long-lasting shelf life all wrapped into one, MREs are the closest thing to a modern survival miracle. 4. Ancient grain, future-proof. The power of wheat berries. At first glance, wheat berries might not look like much. They're small, hard, and kind of boring. Just whole, unprocessed kernels of wheat. But when it comes to long-term survival planning, wheat berries are an absolute powerhouse. Unlike processed flour, which has a relatively short shelf life and loses nutritional value quickly, wheat berries can be stored for 30-plus years when kept in an oxygen-free airtight container in a cool environment. This longevity is thanks to their whole natural structure. They're shelf-stable in their original form, and only become perishable once ground into flour. What makes wheat berries even more special is their versatility. You can grind them into fresh flour as needed, ensuring you get the most nutrient-rich baking ingredient every time. Bread, tortillas, pancakes, pasta, you name it, wheat berries can make it. But their usefulness doesn't stop at the grinder. Cooked wheat berries can be soaked overnight and boiled into hearty porridges, tossed into cold grain salads, or added to soups and stews for a chewy, nutritious boost. They're rich in fiber, protein, iron, and B vitamins, which are crucial when you're running on limited food options. And perhaps most importantly, they're unprocessed and untouched by additives. That means fewer worries about chemical preservatives, allergens, or spoilage over time. For the true prepper who wants to bake from scratch, build a versatile pantry, and secure long-lasting whole grains, wheat berries are a no-brainer. 3. Brick of the battlefield. Timeless hardtack. If you're building a food supply that can outlast blackouts, societal breakdowns, or even the zombie apocalypse, you can't ignore the legendary hardtack. This old-world survival biscuit might not win any culinary awards, but it sure wins the shelf life battle. So what is hardtack? It's a simple, nearly indestructible cracker made from flour and water, sometimes with a pinch of salt if you're feeling fancy. It's been a food staple for sailors, soldiers, and explorers for centuries. Why? Because when kept dry and sealed, it can last 50, 100, even 150 years without spoiling. Hardtack is, quite literally, the food that refuses to die. It has no moisture content, which means there's no breeding ground for mold, bacteria, or spoilage. Store it in a Mylar bag or sealed tin, and you'll likely pass it on to your grandchildren in edible condition. Let's be honest, this isn't your grandma's dinner roll. It's hard, dense, and chewing it straight is like gnawing on concrete. But soften it with soup, stew, or tea, and suddenly you've got a filling, energy-dense meal enhancer that works in any condition. Think of hardtack as survival bread concentrate, the compact, shelf-stable equivalent of carbs on command. If you're in it for the long haul and want food that won't betray you, hardtack is the gritty, dependable companion you didn't know you needed. 2. Primitive perfection. Pemmican, the original power bar. Centuries before modern survival bars flooded the market, native tribes and early frontiersmen were already using the ultimate survival superfood, pemmican. This ancient energy block combines dried lean meat, rendered fat, and sometimes dried berries, offering a near-perfect nutritional balance of protein, fat, and carbohydrates. What makes pemmican exceptional isn't just its high-calorie content, which can easily reach 700-plus calories per cup, but its unmatched shelf life. When properly stored in airtight containers and kept cool, pemmican can last 25 years or more without refrigeration. Some sources even claim it can last longer than that if kept completely dry. Its utility is unmatched in any survival situation. It's lightweight, compact, portable, and calorie-dense. Perfect for backpacking, long-term storage, or energy replenishment during strenuous physical activity. Early fur traders and Arctic explorers lived off the stuff for months at a time. Pemmican is also surprisingly easy to make at home. You just need lean meat, like beef or venison, animal fat, and dried fruit if desired. Once dried and combined, the mixture is packed into containers where it solidifies into a long-lasting block of sustenance. This food isn't just historic, it's proven. Whether you're navigating the backwoods or weathering a power grid failure, pemmican is the ultimate test of survival food endurance. It requires no fancy packaging or refrigeration, just old-school simplicity and the power of preservation. 1. Spoonfuls of sanity, the peanut butter king. And now, drumroll please. At the very top of the list of survival foods that never expire and offer incredible benefits across the board is none other than the glorious, versatile, and comforting peanut butter. This is the food that every prepper, camper, or survival-minded individual swears by, and for good reason. Peanut butter is a complete package of convenience, nutrition, long shelf life, and morale-boosting flavor. Even unopened, most commercial jars of peanut butter can last 5 to 10 years or more if stored in a cool, dry place. What makes it a true survival champion is its nutritional density. 2 tablespoons pack around 190-200 calories, most of which come from healthy fats, protein, and complex carbs. It's also rich in magnesium, niacin, vitamin E, and antioxidants, all of which are vital for maintaining energy, muscle repair, and brain function during stressful times. Peanut butter requires no refrigeration, no water, no prep, and it tastes just as good eaten straight from the jar as it does mixed into oats, spread on crackers, or combined with powdered milk and sugar to create homemade protein snacks. But here's the secret weapon: morale. When the grid's down, the world feels uncertain, and you're living off beans and rice, a spoonful of peanut butter can be downright therapeutic. It reminds you of better days. It comforts. It tastes amazing. It's one of the rare survival foods that is both practical and emotionally satisfying. Creamy or crunchy, classic or natural, it doesn't matter. Peanut butter is more than food. It's fuel, flavor, and fortitude in a jar. That's why it earns its spot as the one must-have food to stockpile that never expires. Final thoughts. Your pantry is your lifeline. There you have it, 20 rock-solid, time-tested, survival-approved foods that won't let you down no matter what the future holds. In a world that's becoming more unpredictable by the day, your food storage isn't just a backup plan, it's your first line of defense. These aren't trendy superfoods or luxury snacks, they're the backbone of resilience, the kind of items that our ancestors depended on, and that will carry you through blackouts, shortages, or long-term crises. From the ancient strength of pemmican to the creamy comfort of peanut butter, each item on this list serves a purpose: to nourish, to sustain, and to reassure. The best part? You don't need a bunker or a billionaire's budget to get started. Just a little knowledge, some airtight storage, and the commitment to take preparedness seriously. So start building that pantry now, not out of fear but out of wisdom. Because when the lights go out, the shelves go empty, or systems break down, the food you've stored isn't just calories. It's control, comfort, and confidence in an uncertain world. Stock smart, store wisely, and sleep a little easier knowing you're ready for whatever comes next.